All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest names in crypto, Coinbase. But we are not talking about the app you have on your phone. Nope. We are going deep into the story you probably don't know, the massive institutional empire they're building behind the scenes. You know, the one that's designed to power the entire future of finance? Let's get into it.
So when I say Coinbase, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For pretty much everyone, it's that simple, easy-to-use app for buying and selling a little crypto, right? But what if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg? That the real business, the one that really matters for the future, is something way, way bigger, and it's almost completely invisible to most of us. So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about why Coinbase is so much more than an exchange. Then we'll dive into the all-in-one platform they've built for the biggest financial players on Earth. After that, we'll see how they're actually powering the whole crypto economy. And finally, we'll look ahead at what they see as the next two giant waves, the stablecoin revolution and, well, the future of finance itself.
Okay, first things first, we have to completely shift how we think about this company. The popular idea of Coinbase, the retail app for you and me, it totally misses the engine room where the real heavy-duty action is happening. This right here, this captures the whole story. On the left, you've got the common perception. It's an app, an exchange, simple. But the hidden reality on the right, that's the game changer. Coinbase is building the foundational infrastructure, the plumbing, the rails, for a whole new financial system, and it's being built for the biggest institutions in the world. So who are these giant players, and what is it they're actually buying? See, Coinbase's institutional play isn't about getting 1,000 small investors. They call it a platform trade, and the whole idea is to bundle every single service a major financial firm could possibly need into one seamless, frankly, irresistible package. And listen, we are talking about the absolute A-list of global finance. Their client roster includes the world's biggest hedge funds. 40% of the top 100 are already on board. We're talking asset managers like BlackRock, huge global banks, even sovereign wealth funds. These aren't just customers, these are the pillars of the financial system we know today. Nothing shows their dominance better than this one stat. When those huge, landmark U.S. Bitcoin ETFs finally got the green light, a moment years in the making, where did all those Wall Street giants turn? 8 out of the 11 of them chose Coinbase to handle their critical infrastructure, like custody. That proves that even the biggest firms would rather partner up than try to build this stuff themselves. It's just too hard. And the result of that? Well, Coinbase now holds a mind-boggling 81% of all the assets in those brand new ETFs. Brett Tejpaul, who runs their institutional business, he calls this a marquee client franchise to die for. Can you get a bigger vote of confidence than that? That's from the most demanding clients on the planet. But here's where it gets even smarter. Serving these giants directly, that's only half the story. The real masterstroke is how they take that exact same technology and use it to power the entire crypto economy. This is where we see their crypto as a service flywheel really start to spin up. So what is crypto as a service, or CAUS? Basically, Coinbase licenses out its core plumbing. The best way to think about it is like Amazon Web Services, but for crypto. Instead of another company spending years and millions trying to build their own secure wallets or trading systems, they can just plug into Coinbase. And here's the brilliant part. It turns would-be competitors into paying partners. And this isn't just theory. Here's a real-world example. Coinbase recently landed a deal with what they only describe as a really, really, really huge bank. The first conversation started 4 years ago. That bank spent all that time going through the classic internal debate. Do we build this ourselves or do we partner? In the end, they chose to partner, making Coinbase the literal crypto rails for their entire digital asset strategy. And that journey is becoming the standard playbook for everyone else. Okay, so if that first wave of institutional money was all about investment, buying Bitcoin and Ether, the second wave, which is coming now, is about something way more fundamental: payments. This is where stablecoins come in and they completely change the game. And don't just take my word for it. As Coinbase's Brett Tejpaul says, a lot of these big players, they weren't totally sold on just the investment case. But the second they started looking at crypto as a technology for moving money, a light bulb went off. Suddenly, it's not about speculation anymore. It's about pure, raw, undeniable utility. To get a sense of just how big this opportunity is, look at this number, $9 trillion. That's how much money traditional banks move around and settle every single day. It makes the entire crypto market cap look like a rounding error. So if stablecoins can grab even a tiny slice of that pie by being better, cheaper, and faster, the potential is it's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
A really great analogy is to think of stablecoins as the new euro-dollar market. Now, for decades, the euro-dollar system was this huge offshore market for US dollars that basically fueled global finance. Stablecoins are creating a digital version of that, a global internet-native dollar system. But here's the key difference. This time it's open, it's programmable, and it's accessible to anyone with an internet connection, not just a handful of giant banks.
So how does this all tie together? What's the end game? Well, Coinbase is strategically, piece by piece, assembling the entire puzzle. They're not just trying to get a seat at the table for the future of finance, they are trying to build the table itself, from derivatives all the way to tokenizing, well, everything. This roadmap here shows you just how methodical they're being. They started with spot ETFs. That was the simplest on-ramp for institutions. Right now, they're focused on launching regulated derivatives, like perpetual futures, right here in the US. Next up, integrating Darabit, which is the world's #1 crypto options market. And the grand prize at the end of all this, enabling the tokenization of real-world assets, from stocks and bonds to real estate. The ultimate goal is to create a true one-stop shop. One single, easy-to-use platform where a major institution can trade spot markets, futures, and options. They are literally rebuilding all the tools that Wall Street uses every day, but doing it on modern, more efficient crypto rails. The entire strategy is to make putting money into crypto feel familiar, totally secure, and unbelievably easy. And that brings us to the final and most important question of all. When you see one company systematically building out the custody, the trading, the prime brokerage, and the asset issuance for an entirely new financial system, you really have to stop and ask yourself, what does the bank of the future even look like? Coinbase is betting it looks a whole lot like the platform they're building right now. And if they're right, it could change absolutely everything about how money and value move around the world.